be sand because it needs sun. अरे चढ़ गया यार. No. Okay. That's one.
And the XPulse, once you point it uphill, it just runs out of gas.
Yeah. And he did it seated. Most of us were standing.
Standing, yeah. So, I mean, I could have easily taken a run up. Saraj was telling me to take a run up. Actually, a common technique we use to practice our hill climbs is to just sit at the bottom with no run up and begin.
Yeah, but those bikes have a little bit of power, no? This will just burn up the clutch.
Correct. That's what I realized. I was like, come on, yeah, second gear should be able. First gear should be able. Oh, nope, nothing. It's just burning the clutch.
I think at the wheel, this is a 12-13 DHC, not more than that.
And I've used 3 times the power in,
Yeah.
you know, 60% the weight. So,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
you just open it up in second gear, it'll just fly up.
Hi guys, I'm Abhinav. This is my friend Haren. Haren lives in Singapore. He's here in India after a solid 3 years, I assume.
Very long.
So after the COVID lockdown, Haren is here. Haren loves dirt biking, let me tell you that. He owns multiple motorcycles in Singapore and he's out here riding with us on the XPulse today. Haren, welcome to our playground.
Thank you for getting me back.
What do you think of this area, this ride?
I'm having a blast, man. So I did summer sprint on my Tiger 800 way before COVID. Just a short in and out because I was alone today. We're here surrounded by all our buddies. Everyone's on an XPulse, rally kits, big tires on them. I'm having a blast, man. It's really different terrain to Singapore. Singapore is very much single track, clay soil, lots of roots, lots of big mud puddles. You know, lots of logs and stuff. Here it's very different. There's not that much vegetation. It's mainly rocks, very loose terrain, sandy terrain. So very different, very different.
And what do you think of the XPulse as a motorcycle? You're riding a motorcycle that has a rally kit on it. It has knobby tires. It's got a full system exhaust.
Yeah.
But is it a decent enough bike for here?
Yeah, so first of all, thanks to whoever lent this to me. Raul Kirsch organized that. I have no idea who you are. Thank you so much for letting me ride this bike today. I must say it's a very nice bike, very approachable. The seat height is high. I dare say it's almost higher than my KTM. I think it's higher than my KTM.
Which KTM do you ride there?
I ride a bunch of KTMs there. I have starting from the smallest, Freeride 350. And then I have a 350 EXC and I have 2 500 EXCs, one in a rally kit format and one in a supermoto format.
Okay.
Separately, I also have a Beta 200 two-stroke. If I was to ride any of those bikes here today, I would either ride my 350 EXC or my Beta 200 two-stroke, given that it's, you know, loose soil and stuff. A lighter bike definitely would be more fun than a heavier bike. And it's not a super long ride today, so having something lighter and less front heavy would be a lot of fun.
What do you think about the weight of this motorcycle? The XPulse is a heavy bike. It's about 158 kilos curb.
I think, honestly, I don't feel the weight is that much of a factor as long as you're not doing too much hardcore technical riding. Once the technical riding aspect came in, yes, definitely there was a difference. I think when you're just chugging along on the fast trails, the weight actually helps to stabilize the bike a little bit. I felt comfortable on it. Actually, my main gripe on the bike will be its width.
Okay.
I actually prefer, and most dirt bikes usually are actually quite still a bit narrower than the XPulse. The XPulse is wide and I think that kind of reduces how maneuverable you can be on the bike. It's not that easy to lean it down while standing in a corner, for example. I would have wished it was a bit narrower. And of course, when the going gets tough, I noticed like when the bike is leaned over a lot, it suddenly tends to just go.
Yeah.
That's the difference with, you know, the KTM. Once it leans over, even if you're on an incline or something, you need to lean it over for an elephant turn just to pivot it around. It will happily rest on one leg and you can spin it around. On this bike, it takes a bit. I nearly cramped up my leg trying to do a few pivot turns, and a couple of times when I was hanging off the side on one of the hill climbs. But yeah.
So I saw that you were trying to attempt a couple of wheelies on the motorcycle, wheelie pivot turn, and it just didn't work. So power-wise, where would you rate this bike?
Power, of course, it has like 1/3 the power of a 350 EXC or a Beta 200. So going up hills was eye-opening that even a pretty not very steep hill required a significant run up to get up.
Okay.
While on the KTM, I just put in second gear and just bombed that guy up. So that was an eye-opening difference because I don't think I've ever ridden something this low powered in this kind of trail.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Haren, I believe you've ridden the WR 155 from the Yamaha
Yeah.
in Singapore.
Yeah.
How would you compare that to the XPulse? Because I believe if that motorcycle comes here, it should be priced similar. It would be as close of a competitor as they can be.
Yeah, yeah. I think that one is a liquid cooled engine. It's definitely pumping, I think, 4 5 more horsepower than this guy.
Probably around that.
Yeah,
16,
and I think
17.
it's about 20 30 kilos lighter.
Yeah.
So I think that would be much better. I think WR155 is also very slim.
Yeah.
It's a much slimmer bike, and it's got spoilers and everything, and that will definitely help to keep the costs of maintaining it low because you have all your plastic bits taking the impact rather than, for example, I think one of the bikes here has a big old gauge in the side of the
Right.
tank from falling and stuff. Definitely having like nice spoilers and stuff helps. When you drop the bike and things like that. The WR155 is also very, very approachable. I've ridden that bike, not extensively off-road, but it's a very easy bike to handle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very low height, seat height as well.
Okay. I believe you've also spent a little bit of time on the Honda CRF 300.
Oh yeah, lots of it.
Yeah. What do you think about that motorcycle?
That motorcycle, I love it. It's very approachable. The seat height is crazy low. Nerin, who you'll have a chat with in a second, she owns it. And I find it, for my height, I find it extremely low because I'll be sitting on it with my knees bent and both feet on the ground.
Yeah.
That being said, once you jack up the springs, best is of course you replace the suspension unit, it becomes an awesome bike. Power-wise, it has a very linear and very long power curve. So the guy just keeps pulling and 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 pulling. It doesn't have that same kind of character that a KTM or any two-stroke will have where it will just take off when you pull the throttle.
Right. Is it because of the gearing or is it because the engine characteristic is
The
such?
engine characteristic is such. The gearing, on the other hand, is very interesting. What I like is that the first gear is super low. You can do a wheelie on demand on the first gear.
Okay.
And then the sixth gear lets you cruise at like 110, 100.
That's nice.
So it's beautiful that way. Power-wise, also very nice. Fueling-wise, some things to desire, but they have lots of ECUs for it now. Aftermarket, it's just completely behind the CRF 300. So getting parts is like dime a dozen. It's super, super approachable. I would really love that bike to come to India. I think it's one of the best like unicorn bikes you can get.
Yeah, but I see a lot of people complaining online about the suspension of that motorcycle. They say it's just too soft because you said as soon as you sit on the bike, your feet are on the ground because the rear just squats down, doesn't it?
Correct. So it's really funny when you
Wait,
put
just hang on for a second. We'll let this asshole,
asshole back.
Yeah, the asshole is back. All right, so
Yeah,
carry on.
Sierra is really interesting. It's got so much suspension travel, but when you get it in stock form, it just sags all the way down.
Yeah,
And I think that's
yeah.
done on purpose. I think that's basically so that the average rider, it's an Asian bike after all,
Yeah.
can easily approach it, sit on it, touch the ground. Nerin at 163 happily gets both feet on the ground. So 164, I don't know. 165, sorry.
163.
165 easily gets both feet on the ground without motocross boots or anything.
Okay.
So that makes it really approachable.
Comparing that motorcycle, power-wise, would you rate it somewhere close to the Himalayan or quite above that? Because you've ridden a Himalayan extensively as well, right?
Yeah. I've ridden a Himalayan extensively. I would say it's a lot more responsive than a Himalayan. The Himalayan has that kind of long stroke feel,
Yeah.
which the CRF doesn't. The CRF, it picks up fast. And power-wise, it's there. When you need it, the power comes on. It's
All right.
not difficult.
Would you say the engine is still, it feels quite like a road bike engine because you did say it has very linear power delivery?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely like a road bike engine. Very linear, not like a KTM where everything just blows in the start.
Right.
So I wouldn't call it a wheelie on demand kind of machine, but if you ask it to, it will do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you told us that, you ride KTM 350s, 500s, you have a Beta 2-stroke. What's the biggest difference that you feel between a 2-stroke and a 350 when you ride on the trails?
Okay, so the 2-stroke, even though the weight of the Beta 200 and a 350 is exactly the same at around about 105, 110 kg, the 2-stroke will always feel lighter. There always feels like there's less mass. Somehow the bike just feels like a big piece of cardboard, almost. So flickable, so easy to move. At higher speed, it may or may not feel a little bit washy, like in sand and stuff. But the thing is that it just floats over everything, and then the power is on demand. So like you can be riding and then you see, oh, there's a bit of maybe an undulation or something. Just give it a light zap and boom, the guy just wheelies across like 2 or 3, whoops, no problem.
That's lovely, man.
So it's super zingy. Of course, you got to get used to the feel. I think many people are put off by the power of a two-stroke simply because they don't realize what you need to do is use a lot of clutch. With the XPulse, for example, today I realize I'm hardly using the clutch.
Right.
I just change into the gear and I just ride.
Yeah, because there's no need to modulate the power because there isn't much to begin with.
There isn't much power, so there's no need to modulate the power. On the other hand, once you're riding a high-performance dirt bike, even the 350 modern 4-strokes, they put out power so well that you have to use the clutch to modulate power. And then having that extra power, I find, is more forgiving. Like in the XPulse, I have to be very conscious about which gear I'm in.
Okay.
I have to constantly like, oh shit, I'm in the wrong gear down. Oh shit, still not enough, gear down. On the KTM, I'll just open the throttle and feed out the clutch, Of course, I will gear down, but then if I'm a little bit too high a gear or low gear, it doesn't matter because I'm getting so much power out of the engine anyway. I just send it with the clutch.
All right. So, Haren, enough about dirt bikes. You also tour quite a lot. You tour extensively. You've toured India extensively.
Yeah.
What motorcycle do you use?
I use the Tiger 800 XCX 2016 model.
And what kind of rides have you done on that bike?
So I've done pretty much Delhi, Ladakh. Of course, that was my first solo beginner tour ever. So I did Ladakh, and then I shipped the bike over to Assam, brought it back from Assam to Delhi via Nepal. Then after that, I went down to Gujarat, then I brought it to Bombay, Bangalore, Chennai, Pondi, Kanyakumari, Goa, or the whole southern circuit. And then now it's back up in Delhi.
Okay, so since you do a lot of touring and you have experience on dirt bikes, a lot of people keep talking about this unicorn motorcycle, a motorcycle that they can, even tour on and then take to trails.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a good idea to ride a KTM EXC-500, let's say, in a country like India where you'll do a lot of highway rides as well? Because I don't think that's a very smart idea. You need a dedicated tourer for India.
Okay, so yes, no doubt there's lots and lots of highway in India, and no doubt there's also lots and lots of off-road and crap roads in India, right? I would say I am actually planning to tour with the 500 later this year onwards.
Okay.
Starting from Singapore, Southeast Asia, and perhaps coming up to India after that. And I would say the 500, the 690, the Tenere 700,
Yeah.
the 500, 690, T7 kind of form that mainstay of what's supposed to be a unicorn bike. Maybe
Yeah.
even the CRF 300.
Okay.
CRF 300, 500, 690 or Husqvarna
Right.
701 platform, and then the T7, right? Now the thing, it just depends on how much you want to work on your bike and how much or how much comfort you want.
Right.
For me, I feel I like character in the bike.
Yeah.
And I know KTMs aren't known for their reliability nor their comfort.
Yeah.
But I want more of a challenge than last time when I did it on the Tiger 800. I
Right.
want a bike that I can take anywhere. If say I was on my tour and someone said, hey, come out, let's go do some enduro, let's go do some trail riding, I can take my 500 and go. If I was doing my Tiger 800, I'll have to be like, either you lend me a bike or sorry, I'm going to have to sit it out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Another example would be, say, if I'm somewhere in Thailand and someone says, hey, there's a nice off-road path to an awesome scenic destination. Now, if it's my Tiger 800, I have to park it at the bottom, I'll have to start hiking it up.
Correct.
In a 500, I'll just send it up the hill or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of things, it might be a little bit more about the destination than the journey, considering that lots of touring today is miles and miles and miles of highway. I think as long as you're slow and steady, or you purposely set out to take the scenic route, it's maybe touring on a dirt bike might be for you.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If
that
not,
makes sense.
Yeah. If not, of course, you go for something more reliable that you don't have to work on yourself. I'm a very hands-on guy, so I'm happy working on the.
Yeah, we've
especially
seen videos and photos on your Instagram.
Especially on the EXC series, very, very easy bike to find parts for online as well as work on. But of course, if you don't want to work on your bike, you want a bit more comfort. You're not too worried about, that last mile heading into some jungle route or whatever, then I think the T7 makes more sense. It is much more practical. You can carry more luggage. It's more comfortable. Twin cylinder, probably not easy to work on, and it doesn't. After all the things you might have seen Paul Tyrrell do,
Yeah.
that guy is 2 meters tall. The T7 is still not a dirt bike. It still does
It's not. It's
handle.
absolutely not. It's top heavy. It's for riders like us. We'd just be road touring with that bike. I don't see us even bringing it here. Even that would be a challenge.
I think here should be okay actually for a T7. You'll enjoy yourself, but you know, if it's anything like it gets stuck or something, you're gonna need buddies to help you pull that thing out.
Yeah, true. That's what I meant when I said if you get it here, because you know the idea is what are you going to do once you're stuck? What are you going to do once the bike tips over?
Correct. So you're traveling in a group, a whole bunch of you, one guy, send the most skilled guy and he gets stuck, you help him pull it out and then you turn around, perfect. You're going solo? Probably not.
Yeah. All right, Haren, thank you. I think we've covered quite a bit. Thank you so much. I hope you
Cheers,
have a
buddy.
nice stay in India this time
Thank
around.
you, man. Thanks
and
to you, buddy.
yeah, the next time I'm in Singapore, we'll ride together.
Sounds good. I'll
All right.
bring you out.
Take care, man. Bye-bye.
Cheers, buddy. Power-wise, it's of course like 1/3 or less of a KTM.
Hey, don't be an asshole, yaar. See you, man.
Getting off Charles, buddy.
We'll just put a tractor here.
Technical cut. Beep. Bastards. Are you getting all of this for your blooper reel?
Yeah,
Good.
we do. These are the motherfuckers.
Throw the stones back at them, yeah? Over there. So yeah,